Dope Era is an Oakland-based apparel company that specializes in luxuries, urban lifestyle wear for men, women, and children that generates conversations and reinvests in the people in Oakland. This year, the brand will celebrate the Fab Week 2024 with 9 different events in 7 days, including a comedy show, a fashion show, and a basketball game. And to tell us all about it is Dope Era's owner and rapper Stanley Cox, a.k.a. Mistah Fab.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
First of all, I want to say, whoever wrote that, let's talk, let's build, because that presentation of what Dope Era represents is amazing. Did you write that?
I didn't, but shout out to my producer. She helped me out.
I love that. That introduction was fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Pun intended.
Yes, right? Pun intended. Basically, you are doing anything and everything. You are doing so much for the community. And so I kind of want to just touch on that. We're going to talk about all the events that are happening for Fab Week 2024. But what is it that you want to bring to the community?
I just want to show the village that this still is a beautiful village, and the villagers still have the power to be able to create whatever reality that we want to do. I think my message is to the children out there that are dreaming, that are dreamers, that dreams do actually come true. I'm living in my dream. Every day I get up, I kind of pinch myself to be like, wow, this is my reality. This is something that I spent countless hours working and investing on. Yeah. And I understood what it was like through all the doubts, through the adversity, and through the challenges and the obstacles that we go through in a city that's tough right now.
I love that you're really embodying that and being an example for everyone. And your clothing line, Dope Era, it's an acronym. Explain to everyone what Dope Era means and stands for.
Growing up, we come from, everyone has their eras. You had the disco era, you had the black exploitation era, you had the Soul Brother era. My era, and the latter part of the 80s was known as the Dope Era, unfortunately due to the influx and pouring in and the flooding of neighborhoods with drugs, when drugs had kind of like taken over a lot of the inner cities around the country, and it had been known as the Dope Era, Crack Era, the things that Reagan, with the Reaganomics and things of that nature, where they were, you know, just say no campaigns and things like that. But when I sit back and I analyzed that era, I realized that everything was dope except for the dope. So if we remove the drugs and we get back to the essentials of what it represented, there were black-owned community stores. The neighborhoods everyone knew each other in the community. You could get into some trouble, and your neighbor had an opportunity to give you a whooping as a kid. You know, we respected our neighbors. We represented a lot of things that was culture, that was village, and so. When me and my constituents thought about what we would do, a term that would identify what we represent not only through clothing, but as pillars of the community, we created an acronym that kind of gave life to what Dope Era means. And the acronym is developing opportunity for people to evolve. And once that's done, everyone will rise above.
I love that. Developing opportunity for everybody.
For people to evolve.
To evolve.
And when you do that, everyone rises above. Because at the end of the day, in the areas that we come from, the only thing that we need is an opportunity. Because some of the most brilliant minds and brightest stars lie in dormant darkness in the areas that we come from. And as we rise through those things, we become the phoenixes. We are those phoenixes that come from the ashes where everyone has forgotten about us. There's this black cloud over Oakland right now. And it's a super dark cloud, and no one's taking a time to get to the bottom of it. They only see the cloud, and they predict bad weather. Oh, it's rain, it's this, it's crime, it's poverty, and that does exist. I'm not here to act as if it doesn't, nor neither am I here to be naive to why that happens. But I understand that under those clouds, there are rainbows. And we represent those rainbows and the bright spots of these dormant areas. And there's so many brilliant minds in that city that represent, for such a small city, it's responsible for a lot of things, man. And I want to continue. A lot of positive things. And I want to continue to represent that. And it's not just what we're doing over at Dope Era, but highlighting and taking the lens and showing there are several others that are doing the same thing that just need an opportunity.
Yeah, so you're really embodying that, and I love that you're an example to everyone of just the great things that can come out of the community, and really just that everyone has the opportunity to be somebody great, to do what they want to do, to follow their dreams. And you've created a whole week of celebrations to kind of lead into that. So what are we experiencing in Fab Week 2024? Fab
Week is, for me, in the infancy stages of curating this, it's very overwhelming, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm stressed. Like, yo, what are we? Because you know, you want to party, you want to go have a great time. First of all, happy birthday to myself tomorrow.
Happy birthday!
Turning 42 years old.
I love
which is amazing to me. Like, I'm wild. Like, I think of the things that I've survived and I've endured at 42 years old, to still be in sound of mind and not have my spirit tarnished by what I've gone through. I don't wear what I've gone through. I'm not who I've gone through, you know what I'm saying, and what I've gone through. And to me, that's a blessing in a nutshell. But the beauty of it is saying, man, I've turned my birthday into a business.
Yep.
But a business that it's just not for me. It's for the businesses, the caterers that we go through with the food and now we get food from, to the interior designers and interior decorators that come do the aesthetics for all of the parties, to the publishing companies, to the print shops, to, you know, we spend money in all of these businesses, everyone, to the vendors that come out and they're able to make money. This is economical upliftment.
Yes.
And we're uplifting our community by allocating spots for people to fill in these voids and make money and bring profits in. We're also galvanizing a community in the village and bringing people together, which is as violence interrupters. This is violence prevention. It's always peaceful and love, and people come out and get a chance and an opportunity to sign peace treaties that don't just last just for Fab Week, but they get a chance to build that on, and it moves forward. So it's so many, when we dive into the dichotomy of the trajectory of where we're going, it's much different, and it's much bigger than just a party.
Yep.
But about the parties, tonight we started off tonight at Plank Bowling Alley in Jack London Square, where Hall of Famer Gary Payton, Too Short, we all occupy these bowling lanes, and we go out there and it's a lot of trash talk. It's a lot of fun, and we have bowling. Tomorrow night is a comedy show at Tommy T's, where we have some local comedians as well as some nationwide comedians. Ha Davis, who is a famous comedian, he's coming out. He's going to be there. Wednesday night, we're doing a skating party to the skating community of the Bay Area, which is a super huge base that I had no idea about. The skating culture is huge. Richard Humphrey and a lot of this, you know.
How can everyone get involved if they want the details to attend some of these events?
Come to the page, follow us on social media. We talk about it. I've been talking about it every day. I'm like the Don King of promotion right now. Every post is, oh, this is Fab Week, this is Fab Week.
Yes. Well, I know it's going to be an incredible celebration for you. Happy birthday, and for the community and everyone to get involved. And just like you said, enjoy the beautiful parts of the community and just come together and celebrate that. So more life. Happy birthday to you.
Jess, thank you so much.
Yes.
And big shout out to Olivia. I love you, sister. And congratulations on your anniversary. And to D, happy birthday to him as well.
Absolutely.
But thank you, man. Unc and the rest of the staff, my whole team, my sister and everybody that's behind it, Tay and my whole staff and my immediate family that's allowing us to put this together. And to you, the Bay Area, thank you so much for supporting and coming out. And I look forward to seeing you guys this week, and let's party.
Thank you, Mr. Fab.
Appreciate you, Jess.